This meeting of the Watuppa Water Board will come to order. Mr. Ferland, roll call, please.
President Pearson.
Present.
Commissioner Ferrera. Here.
The second item on the agenda is the open meeting law, and it reads as follows. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit this meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Mr. Ferland, the agenda, please.
All right. I apologize, the PowerPoint, we're having IT difficulties tonight, so we won't have a PowerPoint presentation. But first item on the agenda is citizens input. Seeing that we don't have any citizens here, we can move on to item number 2. Item number 2 within your packet is the abatements. In your packet, there's a total of 8 abatements, total amount of $2,360.42. 2 of those were denied due to that they did have appeals within the past, appeals and abatements within the past 5 years. So the abatement policy states that if they've had an abatement within the past 5 years, that they're not eligible for one.
This is on the same property.
This is on the same property, correct? So.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yep. So the FY total so far for FY20 is $11,865.30. That's so far what has been abated. That's following in line with what we had budgeted for abatements for FY20.
That's all on the abatements, correct?
Correct.
Motion to approve the abatements as listed.
The motion is seconded, and we'll let the public know that any vote before this meeting tonight has to be unanimous. Otherwise, we only have a quorum of 2. If we had 3, then we could have a 2-to-1 or 1-to-2. But any motion would have to be unanimous by 2. Mr. Ferland, can continue, please.
Item number 3 within your packet is for a contract for supply of AMI units. As you know, we're in the midst of the AMI replacement project. Originally, the project we planned on replacing just over half of the city. The project we've been working with the contractors, we feel that it's in the best interest of the department to be able to replace all the AMIs throughout the whole entire city. So the AMI box, what it is this gray box. This is on the side of the house. So this is actually what sends out the signal to our fixed base system that we've installed through this project. Allows us to read all the meters remotely. So the new ones that we're installing to replace the old ones have an increased radio. So they send out a pulse every 7 seconds. Every 10th pulse is a stronger pulse. So with the fixed base system, it'll allow the fixed base system to be able to read it. Currently the meter, the company going around, Felch Engineering is the install company. They're currently going around installing these on the side of houses. They haven't had to gain entry to anybody's houses as of yet. Moving forward, just starting next week, they're going to be sending out mailings to make appointments to be able to gain entry to people's houses. In houses where they don't have this gray box on the side of the house, we're going to make entry to the house. They're probably either in the basement or have been removed. So if we gain entry to the house, we're going to be replacing the meter inside the house and the AMI box and moving it to the exterior of the house where it should be mounted.
So as a point of clarification, they're going to finish the city with those that they can't put on, then go back and make appointments?
Right, so we've broken the city up into different sectors.
Quadrants.
Right, exactly. We've already done 12 out of the 18 sectors, and we're starting to go back in some of the sectors where we've already completed the outside installations, and we're starting to make appointments to be able to gain entry to those houses. But they're still going to continue moving forward in the other sectors, doing the ones on the external of the building as well. This contract that's in front of you, the low bidder, only bidder was Ty Sales. They're the distributor for this product in the region. The bid amount was $587,000, $587,045.70. This bid, we did bid this out originally during the project. They did not increase the price per unit on their bids. It was the same as the original bid. We just, we couldn't increase the existing contract, do any change orders higher than what's already been approved, so that's why we're moving forward. That's why we bid out a new contract and to follow mass procurement laws. So again, this will do the whole entire city. The other overall benefit that we have by doing this is with these units, there's a 10-year warranty that comes from the manufacturer with these units, and then prorated after the 10 years. We're about 11 years since the last time that these units have been installed and upgraded. So we're getting into the prorated part, which is costing us a fair amount. It was costing us initially when we started the project. We noticed it was costing us a fair amount of money per year for failures of the units. So that's why it's best to replace the whole entire city. That way we start off with another 10 years of full replacement warranty.
Any idea how many houses there are in the city?
So there's 22,000 accounts that we deal with, roughly about 19,800 and so AMRs that will be replacing throughout the whole entire
So
city.
how does an apartment house get broken up? Is it all that on the landlord?
Yep, so an apartment house or a three-family house has one water meter that we read, one AMR box on the side of the house. How we do our billing actually goes directly to the parcel. So our bills are attached to the parcel, same as the tax bill is. So it goes to the owner of the property. If that owner decides to delegate responsibility for paying to his tenants, that's fine, but the ownership, the responsibility for that payment is still with the parcel owner. With the multifamily, we have one meter. Through Massachusetts state law, apartment owners have the ability to sub-meter. There is a law that allows them to do that, same as with the electricity, to sub-meter to their tenants. But we don't allow sub-metering. We don't read sub-meters. That would be the landlord's responsibility to do that. The only way that a property may have multiple meters in one if it's a condo type building. And each condo actually has their own parcel ID and their own deed and owner that would be able to have multiple meters, and we could attach to that individual parcel ID.
I was in my head trying to break down meters by cost, but it's beyond me. However, it's within belief that it's not that unreasonable.
No, correct. This amount is, as I said, they didn't increase any from the initial contract that they bid out. They bid for the same amount of money. So we're comfortable with moving forward. We have the budget available. Sewer will be assisting in paying for this contract because the water meters are for billing of water and sewer.
That was my next question. You're thinking ahead of me. This is good. This is good. Mr. Ferrera, any questions?
I do not. I would make a motion to award the contract for the bid amount.
Motion is seconded, therefore passes.
Thank you.
Contract updates?
So contract updates, there hasn't been, as you know, this is a newer section that we've added to it. There hasn't been any contracts that the department has approved under the $50,000 limit, so therefore we didn't have any particular contract updates. Our water main replacement project is underway. The contractor has not submitted any invoices as of yet, so we still don't have any updates in that there yet, but he has been working. He's on his last street now, State Ave, so we expect that he will be finished fairly soon with that project for this year.
What percentage of the city would be completion as far as the water mains?
So new water mains, roughly since we've started with the 24/7 back in 2000 or so, was our main push for water main replacement due to multiple issues with dirty water back then. We've probably done about 60 miles of water main throughout the city. We have an old tuberculated water main, We have roughly probably 40 miles left to go. So back in the 70s and the 80s, there was a large push to clean and line a lot of our large diameter mains. So those large diameter mains are typically cast iron mains, 12, 16, and 24 inch, and all 36 inch was cleaned and lined as well. So most of that stuff is in good shape. What we're tackling now is the smaller stuff on the streets that feed out, so it becomes tuberculated.
If the camera could zero in on those pipes that Mr. Furlong's gonna show you.
Yeah. I know the board has seen all of this, but this is a 6-inch cast iron main. All of the steel pipe is around the edge here. All this center part is what we call the tuberculation. So that's a buildup of mineral deposits that is built up in the pipe over the 120 years that it's been in the ground. This section of pipe actually came from John Street. It was removed in 2012. It was installed in 1875. So that pipe had 30 plus years in the ground, serving the city. So the new pipe that we install is a cement-lined ductile iron pipe. The ductile iron pipe has a higher tensile strength, so we expect less breaks moving in the future. The cement lining provides it so there's a barrier from any of that tuberculation being able to build up. Now with our water system too, the other thing that we do is we constantly monitor our pH and our alkalinity to make sure that, to minimize any corrosion in the system or mineral buildup. So.
I recently had a chance to go to Wilcox Street. Someone that works with me on a part-time basis let me know that the fire hydrant wasn't working. It was not the case. The fire hydrant was working. It's just that we were digging up that street to replace the water lines. And I looked at the water lines, close to what you're looking at right there. And nobody in that neighborhood was complaining about bad water. But eventually it would have come to that.
Yeah, correct. You know, we've been very fortunate with the support of the Watuppa Water Board, the past administrations, and the City Council, which gives us the authorizations to be able to move forward with these capital improvement projects over the past 20 years. You know, and the great leadership within the department over the past 20 years, we've been able to continue on this project. You know, I wasn't here back when it started, but I remember when I was younger, you always used to hear about the people with the dirty water, people bringing in dirty water, charge of dirty water to the City Council, to the Watuppa Water Board, complaining about it. The complaints are minimized. You know, we get some dirty water complaints still, and typically we still have the next 20 years to go, 15 years to go on the water main replacement project, but we try to work with those streets. So all the streets are laid out in our water master plan, which all the board members have had a copy of. But if we get areas particularly that we know are bad, we try to get into those areas.
Are we on target with that meeting of what you want, or are we slightly behind or slightly ahead?
We're close on target, you know, and with the overall water master plan, there's multiple things. There's the water main replacement, there's upgrades at the plants throughout the next 15 years. You know, eventually within the next, 15 years, our tanks, within the past 10 years, all of our water tanks were redone, but, those are gonna need continued maintenance moving forward. So we are on track, and again, with the authorizations that, we move forward with, the loan authorizations, and, the funding that we get, the low interest funding that we get from the state through the SRF project, the state revolving fund, which gives us a low interest loan. That's a great help, as well as we also get a principal reduction typically on those loans from the federal government. So that helps us minimize the impact to the ratepayers.
Mr. Ferrara, any questions? If there's nothing else, Mr. Furlong, we move along to other business.
Yes.
Under other business, unless you have something,
I do.
I only have a couple of things. One was the Wilcox Street project, which I went out to see. And I now have a better understanding of when contractors have to come in for more money because they run into ledge. Boulders the size of this building, those are not uncommon in Fall River. However, contractors keep saying, I bid as low as I can, but then we run into these problems. I said, well, to the public, it seems like your bid is okay, but then the second place bidder would have won if you didn't come back for more money. And they understand that. And that's one of the reasons why I went out to talk to that particular contractor. But I can assure the public that from where I see it, everything's running along smoothly and very honestly, I believe. Do you have anything at all?
The second contractor would have come back for the same
Right.
money because they run for
We
same
would have ran into the
circumstances,
same
yeah.
problem.
Unfortunately, if it's not in the bid documents that we provide them, they are allowed, as they should be, for extenuating circumstances. And very often, it's work that we ask the contractor to complete because they're already in the ground, the excavation
times
is already
out of four,
half completed, and we ask them to change an extra gate or an extra length of pipe that only after we've excavated that we're able to see is in need of updating.
And in my understanding, fire hydrants on streets are what, every 100 or 200 feet?
So typically by DEP standards, they like to have no length less than 500 feet away from a fire hydrant. With our congested city, we do have them a lot closer than that, but by DEP standards, it's 500 feet.
But I know I measured the footage on Wilcox Street, it was like 200.
Yeah, we're really lucky with our city with the fire protection that's provided. One of the other main pushes with the water main replacement, if it wasn't for fire protection, we wouldn't have to put such large pipes in the ground. We could provide our residents with the water supply with the smaller pipes. But the fire protection is a big portion of why the pipes are sized so large, why our system is sized so large. You just think about the water trying to, you have a 3-family house that's on fire, 2 fire trucks hook up to 2 separate hydrants. And if they're all trying to pull through a pipe like what I just showed you,
Cuts the pressure.
cuts the pressure, cuts the volume right down, and that's when they run into issues. So not only does this provide clean drinking water to our residents, but it also helps with the fire protection aspect.
Under fire protection, the wintertime is twice as bad as normal. Once that water starts to freeze, I'm glad I'm not a fireman.
Correct.
However, under other business, they have this nice looking award. I'll let Mr. Furlan explain it, if you got a chance to see it.
I did take a look, yes.
So this is an award that was presented to the City of Fall River Community Utilities and the Watuppa Water Board. It was presented to us by the Association of State Dam Safety Officials. This is a national organization, and every year they recognize different communities or different organizations that they feel are moving forward with their dam and their dam safety and keeping up with their dams. As the board knows, we have multiple dams that the City of Fall River owns. Copacut Dam, Sortie Pond Dam, Stafford Pond Dam, Lake Nokichoke Dam, North-South Watuppa Dam, the Quikasham River Gatehouse Dam, I'm sure I'm forgetting one or two, Rattlesnake Brook,
I was
which
gonna say
was
the one in
breached,
Solomon.
and Terry Brook Dam, which was rehabbed. So we've been going through since 2010, when there was multiple dam issues throughout the state. We've been working through on rehabilitating and getting our dams into a safe state. The organization recognized us with the Northeast Regional Award of Merit. This was presented to now retired Administrator Terrence Sullivan back in September down in Orlando, Florida. Again, this is something else without the support of this board, the administrations, and the city council, that we wouldn't be able to move forward with. Our dams are a vital part in protecting the safe drinking water supply that we have. North Watuppa Pond is our primary drinking water source. Copacut Dam, which very little people know about, is up on the other side of the reservation, right on the Dartmouth line, and that's a 3,500 foot long, large earthen dam that was constructed in the 1970s, and that creates our secondary water supply. We have a pump station from there that can supplement to the North Watuppa. But we also have multiple other dams, as I've mentioned, Nokachoke, Shorty, Stafford, Terry Brook, that were bought and maintained by our forefathers of the water department years and years prior to us. So we still want to maintain those water supplies, as we may not be using them currently for water supplies. There's always a possibility in the future that we may need them, so we'd like to keep them in place. So this was a nice little token. PAR, the engineer that has done a lot of work for us on our dams, they actually put in a recommendation for this award to be awarded to us, and then we were chosen through the Northeast region of receiving this merit.
Well, I've seen this now for a few weeks, and the only thing I would say about it is, when we say Mr. Sullivan had a lot to do with it, power, engineering, so on and so forth, in my opinion, this is the gentleman who deserves the award the most. And this is probably just one of the reasons why he is now the administrator of sewer and water. And he's being a little shy in taking any credit for it, but when you have a project manager like we had, and now he's doing both jobs, as the administrator and the project manager. If there were 50 people in this room, they'd all be applauding right now.
I appreciate that.
In a month or so from now, yeah, and I may not be seeing it as well eye to eye when we go over the budget, which I brought with me tonight, only so that my fellow commissioner could look at it a little bit, study it, and when we have that debate on the budget. Right now, I'm not liable to vote for it, but I do know the need to keep an eye on the budget, and we'll scrutinize that heavily in the next month or so. But congratulations on the award.
Thank you.
Well deserved. Mr. B, no other business? The
Motion
meeting
adjourned.
will- Yes, meeting to adjourn,
Second.
seconded. The Watuppa Water Board is adjourned.